Good morning,
Good
people.
morning.
It's me, Natalie, Coach Natalie here with Nurse Jen. We are
Hi.
attacking keto today and the benefits, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's put it that way. And the different types. So let's start off with what keto is. It's a diet that cuts out carbs and sugar. And it basically stops the blood sugar from spiking and puts the body into ketosis.
Yep.
So, what is ketosis? So, ketosis is when your body starts burning fat for energy because it doesn't have enough carbs. So, is keto good for you or is it bad for you? So, what are the benefits versus the risks?
We have, and there's benefits and risks for every single thing,
Yes.
every diet, nothing too extreme for each thing. But the benefits are that there have been studies proving that keto has helped people who are and have epilepsy,
I think that's where it started, right?
which it started
Yeah.
in the 60s. They developed this and they found that to be as a great side effect. So it is still advised for people who have epilepsy.
Yeah.
And then also it has also been shown to improve your working memory because you are drawing from your own glycogen that you're storing in your body. But unfortunately, the risks are that it as is, keto is not heart healthy. You're eating, you're advised to eat bacon,
Right.
butter, cream cheese, high fat, right? So we're looking for healthy high fat as far as if you're tweaking it, excuse me.
Right. So, the foods you can eat um, is meats, but no bacon, no sausages. A lot of people take advantage of, oh, well, I'm having keto, so I'm high protein. I get to have every kind of protein in the world, it is what it is. But I think if you make better judgment and stick with the lean meats, I think you'd be better off
Long term.
long term.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, salmon, tuna, sardines, eggs, cook with olive oil, coconut oil, avocados, nuts, nut butter, almond, coconut, or what is that called? Konjac flour.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, for baking. So there's a lot of positive to keto. There's a lot of positive ways to eat with keto, and also there is foods to avoid, which are the high sugary foods like candy, cakes, cookies, high carb fruits. Even fruits have a lot of sugar in it, which is the bananas and the grapes. Starchy vegetables like potatoes, sweet potatoes,
So
squash.
good. My
You know,
favorite
I
thing.
know, but you can use those in moderation. I think
Mm-hmm.
everything is in moderation. Everything you got to find a balance and find something that works with your lifestyle. Okay, so instead of like knocking it completely, keto's all bad, bad, bad. I think you can actually find positive in keto.
Right. And that's why if we're really talking about like how you could tweak it,
Yeah.
which is what something she had taught me. I personally am like a extreme person. Like if I'm dieting, like I'm not eating anything, or I'm like if you tell me keto assignment understood, like no carbs, not one carb in the day, but then I'm grumpy, I'm angry,
Yeah.
so there has to
Nobody
be
wants a
that
grumpy
balance.
girl.
Nobody. And so of course I'm not doing keto now. I'm
Yeah.
pregnant, but when I'm not, I find that to be a benefit, especially like the tweaked version, because it's more like doable, right? So like we're talking about different foods that you can sub. So like if my family was eating, my husband loves enchiladas. So instead of doing the corn tortillas or like flour, some people like flour. I made them with these kind of tortillas, and then just the same sauce, and then cheese and chicken or whatever you make it with, and it's the same,
Just a little tweak.
and everyone can do, like, I could still feel involved. I can still feel like I'm part of my family's meal, but I'm not eating and consuming the same amount of carbs that I would if I was eating a regular plate of enchiladas.
Right. You won't feel that inflammation like we always talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are some side effects
Yeah.
to keto in the beginning. Like you do get like headaches, brain fog, you feel fatigue, irritability. Can't even say that word. It's like and sometimes constipation.
Right.
So there is good and there's bad, but I think it's when you changing your lifestyle, regardless on if it's keto and any kind, things change in your body. So you're gonna see a lot of different. I think it's called, what is it, keto flu? Is that what it
Keto
is?
flu,
Yeah.
yes.
That's what the side effects are. It's called the keto flu. but it literally lasts like a week. I think your body's going through that transition of eating differently, you know, a new habit, and finding that consistency. So, you know, there is a good and the bad, but there's also the plant-based keto. I know a lot of people that do not eat the red meat. And so you could go into radish, spinach, bell peppers, okra, green beans, eggplant, cabbage, bok choy. I mean, there is a long list of things, plant-based keto, people who cannot eat, you know, like meats and, you know, can do. So, you know, there's the good and the bad. So we take the good, we throw away the bad.
Yeah, and what works for you. Like, so you were
Yeah.
telling me you don't eat red meat
Mm-mm.
because you have an allergy,
Yeah.
whereas like I will incorporate like some ground beef, or like I'll incorporate a steak or a lean steak or something like once a week or twice a week, because you're
Yeah.
also looking for, like we had talked about in the last episode, like long-term benefits, long-term, because you're looking for, like, some people are looking for keto as like, this is my diet forever, like, and so for me that doesn't work. So what I'm looking for in a diet is longevity. How can I incorporate this into my regular life?
Right.
How can I go to a party? And you had taught me, just like if someone has a taco guy, you're getting the meat, you're getting the
veggies on the
the
side.
veggies, like they have, like if they have the fajitas with the bell peppers,
Pico
you're
de
eating
gallo
and you're
Yeah.
full, and
Yeah.
you feel like you've been included. You can have the cheese, and you're just like eating with everyone else, rather than I've been on a diet where I'm like at a party and I'm like, I'm so hungry, like I can't wait to go home, or like I ate right before because I'm too scared. So it does allow you to be involved.
It does, and I don't think it's that hard as people think it is. Yeah, you've been restricted with a lot of the carbs, but I feel like we live in a time where there's so many things out there now. It's so much easier. Where back then, yes, it was much harder, but now it's like so much easier. They have like low carb of everything. Yeah, a lot of good.
There's more options.
There's so much more options, so it's a lot easier to transition yourself into a healthier lifestyle. And again, we're not telling you to go have bacon and sausage and, you know, fry this and fry that. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with, you know, keeping it clean, keeping it consistent, keeping it, you know, realistic.
Right.
Finding that balance. I think that's what it is.
And something you've taught me is, like, if you get off track one day, or like,
I
caved, or like, I remember working with you and I'm like, I need a potato. You're like, okay, have your potato. And then tomorrow we're going to go back to normal. And then it really did satisfy it. And it didn't mess me up. Like,
and that's the problem. I think people feel, sorry, there's a bug. Yeah. I feel like people think that if they mess up that one day, that's it. They're done. They're like, okay, well, I messed up that one day. Forget it. I'm going to.
In and out. Right. Everything.
Let's just go.
Let's just get buck wild.
Buck wild and, you know, give me the potato chips. Yeah. No, it's okay. You messed up one day. That's not going to push you back at all. So you just pick yourself back up the next day and keep on moving. You know, I think a lot of people need to know that it's okay. You mess up. It's just, we're human, you know, life still keeps going on.
Yeah. So, I mean, and so I have found that even like when you were talking about the keto flu, it made me think of like when I started working with Nathalie, I was doing like, she had me do like easy low carb, like very like not real low carb. And then it was like, okay, like, and then I would dive in a little bit more and more and found ways to like incorporate it. Right. And then for a couple weeks, we did the full like keto, hardcore keto, where you're like doing ketosis, like, and I did feel the keto flu. I had headaches, I had brain fog, I was irritable, I had like, you
didn't want to talk to anybody.
No. And so it lasted maybe 2 or 3 days, and then I adjusted, because your body's always trying to go through homeostasis, trying to keep it regulate itself. And so after that, I did find it, but I knew I would not be able to continue that extreme keto forever.
So she found a different way to, you know, change it and use it to her, you know, lifestyle. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Because keto is technically 21 grams of carbs a day, which is equivalent to some regular bread. It's one piece of bread. Right. Or which is like crazy for me. But you know, like you've taught me how to tweak it.
To me, it's like bread is my weakness. You know, being Armenian, you know, we eat bread with everything. I mean, we even put the banana in our bread with Nutella. We wrap it up, eat it.
Sounds amazing.
Pasta in our bread, our salads in our bread. Like, we eat bread like nonstop. Yeah. So for me, it was very hard to stop eating bread. But then, you know, I found that whole, you know, the tortilla the low carb balanced tortilla, and I just kind of incorporated that with my lifestyle, and it
Yeah.
works. You know, I mean, if I can give up that much carbs, trust me, you can.
Right. And then you still don't feel like you're really deprived. You're not like, I
No, not at
can't.
all. I mean, my mom is even on this low carb tortilla. She loves it. She makes this, dish, we call it menage. It's like with herbs and spices with
Yeah.
olive oil. Oh my God, it's the bomb.
Oh, I want
gotta
to
make
gotta
that for
try
you.
it.
We're gonna try
Yeah.
it. It's so good. So yeah, like, there's ways of tweaking it, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing that I wanted to say really is like going into the subject a little bit, like I just dove in with you. You're like, do this, and I'm like, okay, that's what she tells me to do. I'm doing it. And
That's why I love her. She'll just do it.
follow, like, and then so now I kind of looking into the subject. It was interesting because there was a little bit of talk about how the cells take in energy. And so glycogen is how glucose is stored in your muscles. And you can store about 2,500 calories in your muscles, which is why you can sustain energy for so long.
Right.
But what people don't know is that you don't need too much glucose because you have that extra store.
Right.
So if you only dip into it a little bit each day, you're really only having to replenish that glucose, like, if it's not the extreme 21 grams, 22 grams of carbs, you can kind of go up to like maybe 50. It's something, it depends on how whatever works for you, but you can just kind of up it a little bit, maybe tweak it like you said, and your body is producing the rest of the glycogen already. And so the old knowledge is, oh, well, we need to eat glucose every day because your brain needs to function. That is true. But at the same time, you don't need that much. You don't need to have bread with pasta and rice.
That's not even, I don't think that's even nutrients.
Right.
It's almost like blocking the nutrients entering into your body.
Right. And it's a simple carb. Like if it's white rice, it's kind of going to be used almost like a Skittle. Like you're eating it and then you're done. Like it doesn't store it at all. So I thought that was interesting, in addition to knowing that if you eat with a high sugar diet, which is a high carb diet, like you said, carbs are sugar, then your body has these GLU4 receptors. It blocks the vitamin C from being absorbed in your body, which makes you be sick more often. Yeah. Because it doesn't have that additional vitamin to fight the illness or the inflammation.
Right.
And it could cause other other like inflammatory diseases like irritable bowel syndrome, arthritis, autoimmune diseases where your body
even
attacks
anxiety.
itself.
I think we were talking about it earlier. I have somebody that I know that changed into a keto diet, and she used to get a lot of anxiety. After changing her diet intake and high protein, her anxiety level balanced out, which was amazing. Like she's like, I don't feel anxious anymore. I don't have those feelings, and I thought that was amazing. And the only thing that she had changed in her life was her diet. So I think it does have a lot to do with
the overall like mental health as well.
And just a little tweak here and there in your lifestyle, I think benefits you. Hopefully you choose the right path. And sometimes, if you need to speak with somebody about it, or, you can totally leave us, some comments or questions after we post this video. Ask us some questions. I mean, we're not nutritionists, but we've done a lot of research. But
we've tried it out.
Being a health coach, we've tried it out. We have experience in trying it out, and and that's the thing. I love to try so many different things because I like to talk about my experiences. So I think it would help somebody. So yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just interesting kind of diving into this topic. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you in the next video. Like and subscribe.
Please. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.